afternoon. Welcome to today's video and welcome to my channel. I'm Lexie, a full-time homemaker, wife, and mom to three littles under the age of 5. It has been such a crazy month for us. We moved, I got super sick, and we're kind of going through a lot. So we are back with the videos. This is not how I wanted starting my YouTube channel to go, but here we are back to making videos. And today we are talking about how to become a homemaker and a traditional wife. I'm also making bagels today, so I will link the recipe down below if you want to make them. They're so simple and so delicious. They are by Jamie Oliver, and I actually just saw it when I turned on the TV one day and decided to follow along. So I will put that down below. Make sure you follow that recipe for some yummy bagels. Now, being a homemaker and traditional wife is an area of my life where I've been actively trying to pursue and improving in. So I kind of want to share what I have learned and the steps that I have taken myself to get where I am now. It used to be the norm that women would stay home and men would work outside the home. Somewhere it shifted where traditional gender roles and families are no longer the norm. Women are working more often outside the home, or the ones who are staying home are finding less fulfillment in their days. Staying home has become less desirable. Relying on a man financially has become less desirable. I want to start off with my story and then I'm going to go into my tips. I am currently living in a season of life that I have always dreamt of since I was younger. I always wanted to be an attentive and caring wife, be at home raising my babies, in the kitchen, taking care of the home. I always watched my dad's aunts take on this role of homemaking and traditional wifehood. They were wonderful cooks and bakers, they canned food, they made quilts, and were great hosts. When we went for gatherings, you could clearly tell that the men and women took their natural roles very seriously, and it seemed like it worked really well for them. Although I don't see them very often, with the little time I did, I found inspiration in this lifestyle, and I always wanted to strive for that when I got older and I had kids and a husband. When I got laid off from my job when I was pregnant with my first daughter back in 2020, I saw that as a chance to be able to live out my dream. My husband and I both agreed I'd be a stay-at-home mom. Being that it was 2020, and we all know how that year went, it was not an ideal year to start out being engaged and having my first baby. We were pretty much locked at home, which was great in some ways because I got to take my role of being a stay-at-home mom pretty seriously. I wasn't going to waste any time with my new baby and just take time to enjoy being a mother. It was easy to keep up with the house tasks and cook good meals because I only had one child to care for at the time. I even started an Etsy shop on the side just to make a little cash. I got to sew often, something I really love doing. After we got out of the whole 2020, 2021 mess of the world, I had my second child, my son, and I fell into postpartum depression. There was a lot going on in my life at the time, and I found myself in survival mode, just trying to get through the days. Housework was getting on top of me. I was stepping over piles of clothes to get into my never-made bed. The kitchen always had dishes piling up, and my children's toys and crumbs were all over the floor. Sometimes social media makes it out to seem that being a stay-at-home mom is an excuse to laze around and sit on your phone all day, not be a very good wife, and complain about being with the kids all day. At least that's the kind of content I was consuming back then and surrounding myself with. It did really affect me. It wasn't until I had my third child that I knew something needed to change. And that's why I'm so thankful for the whole sourdough and tradwife trend, because I honestly would not be here today if I didn't consume all of these things. There are some things that I really don't like about this trend and don't agree with, but I'm really glad that more women are staying home with their babies and taking their roles at home more seriously. I started to make sourdough bread, and that was a very good slippery slope into all things homemaking and traditional wifehood. I wanted to go over the things that I did to get to where I am now, so hopefully, if you're seeking to be a homemaker and more traditional, this can serve as some guidance on how to get there. These are my personal opinions and how I feel you can really succeed as a homemaker and traditional wife. You may have different opinions, but this is just what I've kind of realized over the past year or so that I've really taken this role seriously. The first thing is learning how to cook and bake. Making yummy meals and snacks for your family will bring so much joy to you and your children and your husband. They will all be well fed. My situation is kind of unique, where my husband used to be a chef, and he is actually a really good cook and baker. He's definitely a harsh critic of my food, but it just makes me strive to work more on my skills. We definitely still get fast food when we're busy or having a bad day, but there's nothing like the comfort of home cooked meals and baked goodies. A bonus tip is to learn to be resourceful, especially with food. Using what you have to make things, repurposing leftovers, and really stretching what you have. Plan your meals, find foods and meals that your kids and husband enjoy, and make it often or have special days for certain meals. The next thing that you're going to want to do is to get good at managing the home. Cleaning, organizing, systems, rhythms, routines. Run your home like a well oiled machine. Get good at home tasks like cleaning. Don't just wipe things down and say it's clean. Really scrub it until it sparkles. For one, it will create less work for you and will make sure that it's actually clean and sanitized. If you spill something, wipe it up immediately. Don't just leave it until the end of the day. You change a dirty diaper, put it in the garbage right away. Don't leave it on the floor. You take off clothes, put them right in the laundry hamper. This is something I am still constantly improving on, but I used to be so lazy with this, and I really do consider myself a type B person. I am trying my best to be more type A. I will be putting out a video soon on how I go about doing all of this in my own home. Homemaking can be a full-time job if you're doing it properly. Be hospitable and make your home welcoming for guests. Be prepared for unexpected guests as well. You want your home to feel welcoming and always ready for someone to just pop by. We can do this by keeping the common areas of the house tidy, the powder room clean, and maybe even stocking up on special drinks and snacks. Get off your phone and stop being distracted by doom scrolling. Take your job at home seriously. I have found that when I'm on my phone too much, then house tasks slack, I slack on meals, and the kids get more upset with me because they know that my attention span is not there. If you want to take some time on your phone, do it while the kids are busy or napping or sleeping. And make sure you only do it after all of your home tasks and your meals are made. Consume only content that helps you improve as a person or helps you learn a new skill. If you're distracted all day staring at your phone, you're not doing your job at home properly or being attentive to your children's needs or your husband or your home. And all of that will show for it. Budgeting is something that is also important as a homemaker. Even if you don't have a set in stone budget, you are still making sure that you're watching your finances. Your husband might make all the money, but that doesn't mean that you can't help guide where the money goes. You're not going to the mall every day spending your husband's money on useless things. You're not going to Target and buying up all the new home decor just because it's new. You're planning for the future and for the benefit of your family, while still being able to get the things that you need and maybe some things that you want. Being thrifty will save so much money, and there can be so much fulfillment in repurposing things that you already have. I have repurposed bed sheets for curtains. I have transformed clothes into different clothing items that maybe I wanted to buy from the store, but it was too expensive. Make time to get ready and put in self-care. Your home and your family's well-being is a reflection of you. If you're getting ready, then the kids should be dressed and presentable as well. This will teach them really good habits. The typical imagery of a homemaker and traditional wife is usually wearing dresses and skirts. Although this is not a requirement, but it can really bring out your feminine side and allow you to lean into that role. Now, again, this is not a requirement. A lot of homemakers wear jeans, a t shirt. It really doesn't matter. But I have found that leaning more on the feminine side can help you in your role. A lot of homemakers also wear aprons because they're cleaning in the kitchen, they're wiping children's hands. This can allow you to set the tone for the day and the start of your job. It also allows your outfit to stay clean and tidy, and should you need to go out for the day, you'll be all ready to go out without having, flour, sticky hands all over you. Being a homemaker is a very creative job. Learn how to work with your hands. We already went over cooking and baking. Learn how to sew, learn how to mend, and make things for your home and for your family, or even to make some extra cash on the side from home. My next tip is to embrace your femininity and your role as a wife. This is not only to make you feel good, but it will also make your marriage a lot better. Personally, I started to wear more dresses and skirts because that's what makes me feel feminine and beautiful. Whatever makes you feel the best is what you should wear. I started to dress more modestly to represent my husband well and my own values. I started to wear more natural makeup to bring out my natural feminine features. And as a sign of self-respect, do whatever makes you feel the most beautiful inside and out, and whatever will help you wake up every day ready to take on your nurturing, soft, feminine role, as well as being respected by your husband and others around you. I want to do a separate video on dressing more feminine and my journey with modesty, because I have a lot to speak on this topic. Within my marriage, I started to submit myself to my husband's leadership. This can be a whole nother video, but allowing your husband to be in his masculine provider protector role will help you feel more feminine and him feel more masculine. You will complement each other so much better. Being a traditional wife means stepping back from the alpha female mentality. I know for some ladies this is very difficult, and in the current movements of extreme feminism, I don't need a man mentality, it can be very hard to go against the current social norms. But I promise fighting against the natural design of how God made man and woman and how he made marriage will only bring turmoil to your relationship. It can really make a difference in your roles at home, within your family and home environment, and within your marriage. Step back, let your husband take the lead role in the family. You can help guide him, but don't demand or control or nag. This doesn't mean that your husband does nothing for the kids or nothing around the house, just because that's not his domain day to day. I know for my husband, he doesn't like me to do his laundry because I have accidentally shrunk his clothes before. So he does his own laundry, and that's what works for us. I didn't get upset when he told me. Instead, he just does it himself, and that's fine with me. I don't need to do everything for him. He's a wonderful chef, so he will cook meals and he'll do the dishes after. Or I will cook dinner and he will do the dishes, vice versa. Within the topic of femininity also includes watching the way you speak and act. Speaking with poise, not swearing like a sailor every few words. Speaking softly and kind to your husband and your children. When you're out, you're not gossiping about others or talking poorly of your husband, complaining of your children. I know that's so common to do with your girlfriends or whoever. You just want to kind of dump all your issues on other people, especially when you're home all day and you don't really talk to adults all that much. But I promise, tame your tongue. You don't need to tell everybody everything, and you don't need to kind of air out your dirty laundry to everybody. Be a good, attentive wife, a caring wife. Communicate with your husband well. My husband likes when I scratch his back. I could sit there and complain every time he asks, but now I just do it for him whenever he asks, because I know it makes him feel good. He does the same in return now, and he knows what I like and how he can also take care of me. It's not one-sided. You are working as a team and a partnership in your respective roles. You are complementing each other, not competing with each other. Now let's recap all of the tips that we went over. 1. Learning how to cook and bake. 2. Running your home well, keeping it clean and organized. 3. Utilizing schedules, routines, and rhythms. 4. Be hospitable and welcoming. 5. Reduce distractions and use technology for good, not an escape from your daily tasks. 6. Budget and manage money well, be thrifty, repurpose. 7. Implement self-care practices and get everyone fully ready for the day. 8. Embrace your femininity. And 9. Submit to your husband's leadership as head of the household. Don't be a nagging Nancy. With everything homemaking and wifehood, it's not even about perfection. It's about improving every day as a woman and in your skills. Just like making these bagels. They're not perfectly round or smooth, but they sure do taste amazing. And I'm constantly working towards goals in everything that I do, even not being at a real job per se. I strive to be better every day. Different seasons of your life will dictate how much and how little you can focus on certain things. I know for me, sometimes cooking from scratch is very difficult, but I still make sure to try to make good meals. I know that I can't sit there and shape my bread for hours because my baby will probably start crying and will probably need me. So I kind of do things quicker. It might not look the best, but it does taste really good. And that's okay too. I know that my house is not going to be completely spotless because we live here every single day. I have 3 children. They sometimes clean up after themselves, but not all the time. My baby likes to dump things on the floor. So I know to let a few things go and not strive for perfection. I would love to know down in the comments if you are a homemaker or a traditional wife, what are some good tips that you have for those wanting to live this life or improve in this area? Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.